Hoy en entrevistas con Rock the House, Biff Byford. Peter Ronnie Byford es un músico, compositor y productor discográfico, además de ser el vocalista y uno de los miembros fundadores de la banda de Heavy Metal Saxon. Su distintiva voz y presencia en el escenario contribuyeron en gran medida al éxito de la banda en la década de los 80s y a construir a lo largo de los años una sólida base de fans en todo el mundo que los acompañan hasta la fecha. A lo largo de su carrera, Biff Byford ha sido una influencia destacada en el género del heavy metal. Sus aportes ayudaron a dar forma al sonido y al estilo de la nueva ola del heavy metal británico. Tanto Byford como Saxon han sido honrados con varios premios y reconocimientos a lo largo de los años, incluyendo discos de oro y plata. Asimismo, el artista ha sido galardonado por todos estos logros. En 2019, recibió el prestigioso premio Golden God Award, otorgado por la revista británica Metal Hammer, en reconocimiento a su destacada trayectoria musical y a su influencia en el género. En 2020, fue incluido en la lista de los 100 mejores vocalistas de heavy metal de todos los tiempos por la revista estadounidense Hitpoeder.
Hola a todos, soy Katy García y les doy de nuevo la bienvenida desde Colombia a entrevistas en Rock the House. Hoy les traigo un invitado muy especial. Él es el vocalista y miembro fundador de Saxon, Biff Byford. Biff, welcome to Rock the House. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Great. Well, I want to start talking about the beginnings of Saxon. What was the personal motivation that made you to become a heavy metal musician and create the band Saxon?
I think, well, from a young age, I was always interested in music and musical instruments. So, I played guitar when I first started. Many years ago when I was, a teenager, I was trying to play guitar. And from that, I took up bass. So I wasn't really a singer in the early days. I mean, I obviously knew I could sing, but I didn't really sing in a band until quite later. So I spent most of my early career playing guitar and bass guitar. So my influences were people like, Jack Bruce and Felix Pappalardi and, those early, heavy rock bass players, really. So that's what really influenced me. Singing came later when I was in a band that a singer, dropped out, so I took his place, and that's when I started singing. So I wasn't a singer at first. I was a guitarist, bass player.
Before Saxon, your first band was a blues band, and you also played the flute. Is this true?
I learned to play the flute so I could be in the band. It was my friend's band, and they were older than me. I was only quite young, and they said, if you learn to play a flute, you can play in the band. So I think they've been watching, I don't know who they've been watching, but anyway, I learned to play flute in one key, A. So I used to play flute. Didn't last very long. But I've still got the flute somewhere, though, in one of the boxes somewhere.
A great, incredible experience. Well, going back to Saxon, your band is considered one of the most influential in the new wave of British heavy metal movement. How will you describe Saxon's impact on the metal genre?
I think a lot of bands from the 80s, a lot of young musicians and budding musicians were listening to what was happening in England in 1980, 1979, 1980. And I think they sort of grew up through that, that early genre of heavy metal, that second wave that Saxon, Maiden, Motorhead and people like that were part of. Especially a lot of American musicians were into it. I think a lot of Americans wanted that same movement to happen in America, the new wave of American metal. And I think it probably did later, actually. But I think it's great to be an influence on these bands. I think it was an influence not only the music, but in the way that we looked and the way that we performed. I think that was a big influence as well.
Biff, can I ask you an unusual question?
Yeah.
There is a curious fact that I found. It's true that the first name of the band was Son of a Bitch.
That's right, yeah, it was. It was a slightly different band, though, with a different drummer. But yeah, it was Son of a Bitch. We called it that because punk music was very strong in the 70s. We just thought it was a bit of a harder, more punky name, Son of a Bitch. We used to get a lot of gigs with people like Clash and things, so it sort of worked. But our music sort of changed. Well, we started writing our own songs, I suppose. So it got more rocky, more more heavy, and we started this new genre of style, really.
Well, interesting story, but
Yeah.
changing topic, Saxon's longevity in the industry is impressive. What do you think has been the key to the band's longevity for so many years?
I think the songs are a big part of it. Great songs. And the fact that we play live, we consider it to be, a great live band, and we're always touring. So I think that keeps the band alive and relevant. But we work very hard on our new albums, like the last album, Carpe Diem, was a great album. A lot of people like that album. It keeps the profile high for the band, yeah.
I think a key to Saxon's success is the good relationship between the band members. You and Paul Quinn have written most of the band's history over decades. If you could describe your relationship with Paul in one sentence, what would it be?
Well, he's like a brother, really. He's like our brother Paul, and we've been friends and in the band together for many years. Now he's finished. He's retired from touring and doing more blues things with his other band, really.
Let's talk about the metal genre. What do you think allows metal to remain relevant today and in future?
Well, I think because the fans are very loyal, the heavy metal genre, and when we bring out new albums, people buy them. And actually, I don't think there's anybody in the metal thing, especially British metal. I don't think there's anybody come along yet to take our place. To take Saxon or Maiden or Judas Priest or any of those bands' place. So I think in future, hopefully there'll be some bands, from Britain, from UK, that will take the crown, take the throne. That would be great, but not yet.
Talking about relationships, we can leave out the fans. The relationship between musicians and fans has changed with social media and online interaction. How do you think this has affected the connection between the bands and their fans?
I think social media has helped that because, we're able to connect with our fans very quickly, almost immediately. And I think fans benefit from that. They know what Saxon are doing immediately that we put it on social media. So I think it's great for advertising records and advertising shows. And it's also good to let people know if somebody's ill and we have to postpone something, and people don't fly into the city and things. So I think it's really good. And I think it's good for new bands as well because they get a chance to put their music in front of many, many people. You're just looking for those clicks, those views, really. So I think it's a good thing for bands and generally music.
Okay, and in your perception, how can veteran bands like Saxon remain innovating and attract new fans in an ever-changing musical landscape?
You have to keep writing great albums. I think that's the key, and you have to think. This is the way we think. Okay. If we released Carpe Diem in 1980, would it have been a hit? And the answer is yes, it would. So that's the key to keeping relevant and attracting new fans. Because when a fan joins in when a fan decides that they like Saxon or any band that have been around for a long time, they sort of become part of that family and they're part of the legacy of the band. So, I mean, new fans, younger fans are getting into the 80s music all the time. Because, you can buy the Carpe Diem album, listen to it. If you like that, you can go back, 43 years and listen to the first album, Wheels of Steel, Strong Hand Below, Denim and Leather, and go all the way through. And, we've always written songs about our audience. I think we were probably one of the first bands epitomize that 80s.
What projects does Saxon have in the future that you would like to share with us?
Well,
please.
apart from coming down there in a week or so, we got a new album finished. We just finished it this week. So we're just doing the details now, the thank yous and the special guests and things and stuff like that. So album covers. So that will be out in January of next year. So, maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll come back to Latin America and do a tour on that album. Maybe. I can't tell you any titles or anything because that's top secret.
It's a fact that Saxon has many followers in Latin America that you mentioned. Why do you think metal is so loved and read in the Latin American music scene?
Well, I think you'll probably be able to explain that better than me, since you live there. But I think since in the very first time we came to Latin America, I think there's always been a special bond between metal music and the fans down there. I mean, Maiden play massive places in South America. So it's just that they just have an affinity with metal music, and it's just a way of life, I'm sure, down there. Just like it is in the UK and Europe and America, but I think it's more so in Latin America. I think because they don't get as many bands there for a start. A lot of people can't afford tickets and can't afford to go to gigs their own way off. So I think they're just a crazy, beautiful audience in Latin America. I think.
Great. And do you have any interesting anecdotes from your travels and experience in Latin America that have left a lasting impression and you would like to share?
Well, some pretty weird times in Latin America. We did it. We did a tour on I think it was on a Mexican tour bus, which was basically a school bus that had been converted into a tour bus. So it was very basic, and it looked like some guys who just made it one night in the garage. But that was good. And we were traveling through the borders, from Mexico into Brazil and then into all over the place. And going through the borders, we had some really crazy times with some border guards, wanting T-shirts and CDs and things. It's crazy, really crazy times. But and I liked it really. It's very, seeing the countries, driving through the countries was great. I liked it.
Great. I remember an anecdote at the beginning of this year. Saxon was in the list of bands of the Monster of Rock Festival, the first one in Colombia. But when the band had to cancel their participation, Saxon fans went crazy. Some sold their tickets, others, like me, went. But we were left with the desire to see Saxon. Fortunately, soon, our dream of seeing Saxon live will become true at the Bogotá Metal Fest this November 24th. Biff, about this concert in Bogotá, is there anything you want to share with the Saxon fans in Colombia who will go to see you at the Bogotá Metal Fest?
It's always sad for everybody when we have to cancel or postpone things on tour in Germany. And we cancelled lots of shows. And at the same time, Paul told me that he was retiring from touring. And at the same time, my father-in-law died. So it was quite a bad time for us. And, we had to cancel some things in America as well. So it wasn't just Latin America. There were some shows in America as well. So it's always, I do know how bad it is for people, especially if you bought tickets to see us and you've traveled to see us and you have a hotel. I mean, it's just crap. I know it is, but it's just unavoidable sometimes. But we're coming down there now to this show, and we're doing the full European set list. I don't know how long we're playing there. We're going to be playing some songs from Carpe Diem, and we're going to be playing lots of the old hits as well. So it's going to be a great time. We're bringing Brian down there from Diamond Head with us, who's fitted into the band brilliantly. And it's going to be crazy. It's going to have a great time. Hi, this is Biff from Saxon. We're going to see you all down there at the Bogotá Metal Fest. Come on!
I love it. Thank you very much, Biff.
No problem. Have a nice day.
The interview was great. Thank you very much.
Yeah. See you later.
Bye. Thank you.